What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Got Assets. Today, we're launching our Crypto 101 series, right? So, if you've been hearing about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other movement of cryptocurrency, this episode is going to introduce some opening concepts, some things that you should get used to. And we're going to talk about the transition of our economy and what the future of money and investing could look like.
Yeah. So the goal with this series is to, over the next few weeks, we're going to explore staking, identifying crypto scams, and several other topics that we'll rope into this series. So today we're diving into the most common asset in the world, which is stocks, and also explaining the new wave of money when it comes to crypto. And crypto is something that we're going to have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, whether we're prepared for it or not. So we might as well start that discussion now.
Right, exactly. And this week, we're focusing on consistency as our word of the week, meaning, right, online, right? What is the meaning of consistency? Meaning conformity in the application of something, typically that which is necessary for the sake of logic, accuracy, or fairness. So changing in how you do something for a result, reading a book once a day, reading a book once a day for 365 days, right? The things like that, working out once a day or working out 3 times a week for 52 weeks. Consistency is just creating in your mind a habit. And I like to put in my words, repeating an act without failure. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, if my goal is to wake up and run at 4 a.m. every single morning, then hey, I need to wake up and run at 4 a.m. every single morning, whether I like it or not. If I do it consistency, I should see the results that I want, right? So consistency, that's our word of the week.
Yeah, and with that being said, y'all already know what time it is. First, we'd like to officially welcome all our new viewers, our new subscribers, our new supporters. And secondly, we like to ask y'all, especially if you're returning, put something in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Put your thoughts on the episode in the comments. Put some suggestions in the comments. We definitely want y'all input on the conversation as well. And definitely want to stay tuned to the end of the video to see our stock pick for the week, as well as our crypto pick for the week. Something that we've been doing some research on, something that kind of has caught our eye and just might be something you want to look into. Definitely not financial advice. But yeah, let's get into it.
Hi, my name is Stephen Gray. I'm the founder of Genie Cakes, a family recipe that's been in our family since 1945. It was left to me by my grandmother. Out of those flavors that she left us in our family, there was 7-Up, original vanilla, sour cream, and a classic pineapple upside down, which has always been my favorite. We're located in the Galleria Mall on the 2nd floor, right next to the Apple Store. Please come out and get this delicious, moist cake that will melt in your mouth like cotton candy.
Pay attention, YouTube channel is not investment financial advice. All programs, resources, and curriculum are intended for informational purposes only. All thoughts expressed are opinions not used for or with the intent of instruction. We ask you to always do your own research and trade or invest at your own risk. Thank you. We're talking about stocks versus crypto, right? When we talk about this topic, we want you guys to understand, one, the difference in a stock versus a crypto. They are both assets. They are both investments, but this is an opportunity for you to either choose or, you know what I'm saying, make the decision on to educate yourself further. So, we want to highlight in this episode a lot of things. But the first thing, Anthony, for the common viewer, they may have a few basic ideas. They may have a general concept. What is a cryptocurrency?
Yeah, cryptocurrency can be multiple different things, especially when comparing it to a stock. But a cryptocurrency is a token that represents value, or AKA citizenship, of a specific chain that crypto belongs to. So cryptos can be used as like true currency, where you can buy and sell things using that particular crypto. It could be a utility token. meaning that it has a specific utility on that platform, meaning like you can't do X if you don't have Y amount of this token on the network. They could represent artwork in the form of NFTs, things of that nature. Cryptocurrency can be a lot of stuff. So that's just a broad overview of what that is.
Okay, lit. And so a cryptocurrency is another form, a decentralized form. And we're going to talk about decentralization versus centralization, but cryptocurrency is a decentralized form of what we call a currency, right? And so when we talk about a currency, remember a currency is a system of money in general use in a particular country. So the currency in the United States is the USD, right? The currency in Japan is the Japanese yen. European euro is in Europe. You have so many more, over 400 plus currencies across the entire world. And those are centralized platforms where you have banks, you have governments, you have institutions who are in control of the creation, the growth of that paper money. So we're talking about printing, scaling. We're talking about everything. So that's
another term for that would be like quantitative easing. But I mean, going back to what a currency is, like when you named off all those things, a currency is also access, right? Like without having enough of that currency, you don't have the proper access to certain things. So I think keeping that in mind, you can also apply that to cryptocurrencies, because a currency doesn't always mean like I have to use it and to buy something else. Like a transaction in that traditional sense isn't always happening, even with regular currencies we use today. It's also an access thing. So do you have enough of this currency to have the access you need to have for whatever, so whether it may not always be a transactional value.
Healthcare,
stuff like that.
Education, you know what I'm saying? Education, healthcare, technology, entertainment, food, right? Groceries, inflation, right? See, inflation is a byproduct of centralization, you know what I'm saying? So we got to understand how decentralization could change that, right? But when we talk about, again, stocks versus crypto, the reason why we talked about a currency is because in 2022, you can't invest in stocks with cryptocurrencies. You have to invest in them with currencies, with the US dollar, you know what I'm saying? So that said, all that to say, right, what is a stock? And stocks are just a share of a company, and that's going to be able to give you access to profits based on the productivity and success of that company over a quarter period. And when we're in business, remember, a quarter is every 3 months. So we're in the last quarter of the year. So when we talk about companies getting ready for the Black Friday profit, the Christmas profit, right? That third quarter for most companies that a lot of people use, like Apple, Amazon, you know what I'm saying? People go get gifts from Target, Walmart, right? We are investing in these companies as consumers, but you can also invest in these companies as investors, and you can do that with currency, like we said, the US dollar. And the New York Stock Exchange is, you know what I'm saying, another entity in itself, right? A $25 billion market, right? Bringing in billions of dollars of revenue every day. So cryptocurrency could be a potential, Anthony, I'm gonna just let you speak, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My thought on that is more so like a stock represents direct ownership of a corporation or a company, like you said, Nike, Apple, along those lines. So if you own a share of either of those companies, you own a piece of ownership representing that company. When it comes to a cryptos don't necessarily represent direct ownership of a company that may or may not use this cryptocurrency. So for instance, XRP is a really good example. So XRP is used by a company called Ripple in their day-to-day and in the services they offer customers. However, by owning XRP does not mean you have ownership of any share of stock of the company Ripple, right? So you would have to actually own Ripple stock to own or to have ownership of Ripple, the company.
Right.
By owning XRP, you don't that does not mean that you necessarily have any ownership of the company Ripple that happens to use XRP in its services, right? So like it's a very key difference when it comes to stocks and crypto, right? Stocks represent direct ownership of said company. Crypto can be used by companies, but not necessarily represent direct ownership of that company. So that's definitely a thing that you want to know the difference between when you start investing in
and that shows the
crypto and
difference
stocks.
between a consumer. My bad, man. But that
No, go
shows
ahead.
the difference between a consumer and an investor, right? If I'm a consumer, I'm more than likely in the crypto space, I'm owning coins. But if I'm an investor in the crypto space, I'm owning equity.
Exactly, because the price of XRP does not go up or down in value based on the how well Ripple is doing as a company, right? Like Ripple could go away and no longer exist, but the XRP currency could still be here, right? And operating and performing transactions and so on and so forth, because XRP and Ripple are not tied together in that sense.
Yeah, and that could be a DAO, right? That's a decentralized autonomous organization. Decentralized autonomous organization. So basically, being that there wouldn't be a CEO of Ripple to make the decisions. There would be a algorithm. There would be a software that is solving the. You know what I'm saying? So that's a totally different conversation. You know what I'm saying? DAOs in there.
Yeah.
And what that could look like in real life, because they're already here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, yeah, okay, bet. So we can talk about the startup, so stocks, originally started in 1792, right? The Bretton Woods Agreement signed by 24 stockbrokers in 1792. Crypto, however,
no, I mean, you really started seeing the rise of crypto in like 2008, 2009, after the financial crisis of the housing market basically crumbling back then. And that woke up a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, when it came to the bailouts. And, if the Fed didn't bail out the banks, we'd essentially be seeing bank failures left and right. So they got a lot of people thinking, and that's where you really started seeing the birth of Bitcoin and stuff like that around that 2008, 2009 time frame. So still a nascent market and compared to like stocks and stuff like that that's been around for centuries. So
facts. And in the stock market, like I said, there's over $25 billion worth of volume a day, but it's worth trillions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? And the crypto market is, last time I checked, CoinMarketCap was like 880 billion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
and not too long ago, the crypto market was valued at like almost $3 trillion. Exactly. So, I mean, and that's still nothing in comparison to other markets like the Forex market that's like a 10 trillion, or not Forex. Forex isn't 10 trillion. Yeah. It's that real estate market that was valued at $10 trillion. So, I mean, that's insane, right?
Yeah, I think the biggest trillion, the U.S. debt is 25 trillion. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that just goes to show how much money is really in circulation in that play right now.
I think it's actually 31 trillion.
So
so that's actually a lot.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's that. So cryptocurrency, like Anthony said, launched in 2008. And Ace, what I think is kind of scary is something that launched in the 21st century has more than equivalent to 33% of the stock market's value we're talking about less than 10% of the time. Like, we're talking about the crypto market is less than 20 years old, and the fact that they hit 3 trillion in its first 10 years is crazy.
It's insane, right?
The stock market did it in hundreds.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of money out there, you know what I'm saying? And as we modernize a lot of stuff, I do believe digital assets is the asset class that eats all other assets, meaning here in a little while, when we start talking about digital assets, we're not going to be separating the two between digital assets and stocks. I truly believe that stocks and digital assets can be one and the same, depending on use cases and stuff like that. But you'll start seeing a lot of tokenized stocks these decentralized finance platforms, these DEXs, they'll offer tokenization of stocks. So when we buy shares of Tesla and Facebook or whatever, we'll be doing it on a blockchain in very short order.
Absolutely. And I think now we can go into the difference between a phrase you and I both mentioned earlier, centralization versus decentralization. And how does that look on both sides? Because the stock market deals in the centralized finance, whereas of the crypto market deals in the decentralized finance.
Yeah. And crypto can dabble into both. Unfortunately, you definitely know how I feel about the centralization side of crypto, so we won't even get into that. But centralization is typically what we see today in traditional finance. Like there's banks that custody your deposits. There's a bigger bank that that gets loaned money out to the smaller banks. There's maybe 4 big banks in the world that actually process all the other banks, their financial transactions, especially when it comes to Forex and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's what you see when you talk about centralization, right? Me and you, we can't custody our money, in a safe in our home somewhere and make 20% on it, right? Like when you put your money in a bank account and you put it in a savings account, the bank is only paying you like not even a full percentage point, right? And that's because they're turning around and flipping your money for 20% or more and only cutting you like not even a real piece of the pie.
0.001.
Exactly. Or if that, you know what I'm saying? A year. Yeah, a year. That's insane, right? So centralization is typically like controlled, really.
Right, like levels to it.
Definitely levels to it.
Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America are the big banks. Those are the puppets. You know what I'm saying? Someone got their hand on them that's making them do the work. And like you said, those 4 big banks, those Federal
JP Morgans, you know what I'm saying? Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, those would be the United States related banks. And then of course you got the Federal Reserve. But then overseas you got like HSBC, you got the World Economic, or not World Economic Forum, the IMF, so that's the International Monetary Fund, whole bunch of stuff, man. I mean, I can name off several other banks overseas.
That's all centralization.
That's all centralization, but decentralization.
Exactly.
That's the new wave, of course, and you got to be careful. I'm gonna give a disclaimer on the term decentralization, right? There's a lot of crypto firms out here, and they're actually being exposed to as we speak today that operate under the guise of decentralization, but are truly centralized when you pull the covers back. So you definitely want to be look out for the telltale signs around that when it comes to a lot of these crypto firms. But the ones that are truly decentralized, there's no traditional top-down structure really that governs these entities, right? Like when it comes to decentralization, with decentralized exchanges, you got decentralized finance, right? And these things essentially flip traditional finance on the head, right? Like, what do you mean? There's not a sole entity that's behind the scenes making all the money or controlling where the money's going and how much is stored, whether it's fractional reserves or one-to-one reserves, things of that nature. And there's real yield behind it, right? So like people that are involved in these decentralized means of making money are making actual real life money that a term is not established by a person behind the door, right? The terms and the APYs are established by how often the platform or product is being used, right? So that's real yield. And you don't see those things in centralized finance, right? There's nowhere that I can take, $100. Say all I got is $100, right? There's nowhere in traditional finance I can take $100 and have the opportunity, not necessarily guaranteeing, but having the opportunity to turn that $100 into $1,000. Right? Like, you don't see that in traditional finance. And if you do, you got to have millions of dollars already. They're not catering to people with, that $100 check or whatever.
The investors like Forex, crypto, and that's 1%, and 3% of the world know about those markets.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So that also goes into the level of gatekeeping that happens in centralized finance. You know what I'm saying? Like things like being told, oh, you can't invest in this because you have to be an accredited investor. All right, well, let me go see what does it mean to be an accredited investor? Oh, you mean to tell me I have to make like $200,000 a year over the course of how many other years to be considered accredited investor? That's one of the problems. And that's if you're single. If you're married, you have to make combined $300,000 a year over the course of a certain amount of years, or at least have a net worth of 2 million or more.
To
Right?
say
So
we're investors.
yeah, to say you're essentially money savvy enough to be able to take on the risk of investing in a company before it goes public, right? When those are really honestly the best time for the opportunity before it's a company is made public for the public. That means like regular people like you and me to be able to go on Robinhood and invest in a specific company. We can't do that if we're not accredited investors, right? We can't go through these special firms that go out and buy the shares and then they just flip the shares on whatever they bought on the book price, right? Like they gatekeep so many opportunities in centralized finance and the centralization of your money. Whereas the true goal of decentralized finance is to bring down all those barriers to where it doesn't matter if you got $100 or $2 million, you have access to the same financial opportunities. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people, when it comes to crypto, they should key in on instead of what is the most hyped token that's being talked about by your favorite celebrity or your favorite social media influencer. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really need to start keying in on the things that truly matter, right? And what matters to a lot of people is being able to make their money work for them. Well, how do you do that? Right. And there's ways to do that in crypto that there are not even that a lot of people don't even know about in centralized finance.
Wow. So let's talk about the future economy then. Can currency, fiat currency, Japan yen, European euro, US dollar, Mexican peso, Canadian dollar, the Swiss franc, you know what I'm saying? Can the currencies that we now use in 2022 that we've been using for hundreds of years in our financial system, can cryptocurrencies coexist with currencies?
Yeah, I think so. And I think we're showing that now because we have stable coins, right? A stable coin is for instance, to the US dollar, it's a 1-to-1 backing to the US dollar. So a stable coin is nothing but a digital form of that currency. And there's digital versions of the Mexican peso. There's digital versions of the Japanese yen out there. Whether or not they've been made official national currency or not, that's another argument or whatever. However, when people in the decentralized world go to make certain purchases or get into certain decentralized finance platforms, they use stablecoins, right? Whether it's the 1-to-1 backing of the Japanese yen, the US dollar, or the Mexican peso, they're definitely out there. So I definitely think currencies and crypto have a place to coexist for sure.
Okay, lit. Well, how is crypto connected in your terms? Because I know you're a crypto enthusiast, you're an expert, you're a profitable crypto investor, so how is crypto connected to financial freedom and literacy through your perspective, through your experience?
So for me, I really started seeing how powerful cryptocurrency is and can be when I was able to take money that would normally just be sitting in my bank account somewhere for savings, of course. And I can take that money and I can go and make it work for me. I can turn that like I said earlier, I have the potential to turn that $100 into $1,000 by ways of managing it differently than what I traditionally would have in a savings account. So, I mean, it's just the fact that the opportunities are there for people to extend their dollar and make that go a hell of a lot longer in the decentralized finance realm versus the centralized realm. So I definitely think having that ability or having that opportunity, just the sole ability having that opportunity is where financial freedom and financial literacy kick in for me when it comes to crypto. So centralized finance has all these, it's just so gate kept, right? And a lot of people would only dream to be able to do some of the things that you can do in centralized finance, because they don't see themselves ever having that amount of capital, right? As a normal person is never going to have $2-3 million just sitting around somewhere, and they can count that towards their net worth. You know what I'm saying? So financial freedom and financial literacy come into play heavy with cryptocurrency, because it's nothing but the traditional finance system, except it's digital and it's decentralized.
As my brother Nick Cannon says, incredible. Yes,
Yeah.
sir, for sure.
Me.
Exactly. Okay, so we had 2 bullet points, and one of them was what are some legitimate news sources, and the other one was why should I invest by myself? And I want to combine those two for the audience that's tuning in, because I want to allow you guys to understand the value of doing your own research, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want you guys to understand that no matter you're looking to learn basic, advanced, expert, right? What are you learning? And our word of the day is consistency. How often are you learning? Right. So before you make an investment, I do want to just let you guys know that Pay Attention's YouTube channel, right? We are not, or I want to let you guys know, we are not investment financial advice. All programs, resources, and curriculum are intended for informational purposes only. All thoughts expressed are opinions, not used for or with the intent of instruction. We ask you to always do your own research and to trade or invest at your own risk. Now with that being said, that is why Anthony and I, we have been teaming up with other investors in the Houston community, and we've been now growing a community for people to come into a environment of growth, right? We're talking about an environment of communication around investing. So we're talking about how can we grow ourselves and how can we grow as investors, right? So we have a Discord community, right? And I think it's the perfect time to plug this in, because as we wrap this episode, I want you guys to understand that this Discord community is going to be one of many things that we bring together for people to stay excited. We want you guys to understand the value of being connected to other like-minded people. The fact that we have other men and other women that are interested in learning how to invest, and we get to all now come together. We get to bump heads. We get to learn. We get to lose, and we get to win together. You know what I'm saying? All in a free environment on our Discord. It's just one benefit of why you should get started, not to mention what's coming next. So, we want to just allow you guys to understand, do your own research. And we do think it's important for you to invest along like-minded individuals. So your friends, your partners, if they don't invest, you can't talk to them about what your next investment should do. But you're in a community, a circle of people that are investing. Even if you're not putting up capital, you're around the conversation. When you're ready, imagine how much more confident you'll be. So the benefits of just being around the conversation, the benefits of just being around the updates, what's going on, is really going to help you whether you have money to put into the game or not. I really want to say that, Anthony, before we got.
Yeah, no, I got you. And I respect.
Really
I definitely respect where you're coming from, because that's the truth, right? Like, I mean, a lot of information sharing is definitely should be done communal, because that's when it sticks, right? Being around a group of like-minded individuals that all have a similar goal, you know what I'm saying? And you definitely appreciate people a lot more, because it's like, okay, we all trying to get to the same level, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's just on a knowledge base or actually being able to put certain actions behind it, you know what I'm saying? Regardless, being able to soak up that type of information is important. It's an old saying, and my papa always says this. But show me your friends and I can show you your future. You know what I'm saying? Show me who you kicking and who you spending your time with, and I can show you your future. You know what I'm saying? And that's always stuck with me. We all don't always surround ourselves with the right people to help us get where we want to go. But the more we kind of put that in the forefront and put emphasis on that on our everyday lives, the better off we'll start to be. You know what I'm saying? So being around those like-minded individuals, people who have standards for themselves as well. You know what I'm saying? It's always a good thing for personal development, for sure.
Man, exactly, man. Personal development and life development. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm excited about my crypto pick for the week. One, because it just makes so much sense. But I kind of want, I actually have two, right? But
Yeah.
one of them is actually Tesla, right?
Mhm.
Now, Tesla's current position, I dropped it in our Discord community, which is one reason why you want to plug in and stay tuned for what's coming. But Tesla's current position looks opportunistic as we approach a new year, meaning new cars, more production, more batteries, and more. So you got to understand Tesla also creates their batteries and they recycle their batteries. So when they're producing these, what they call micro plants, I believe he has one or nano plants. He has one in Austin, Texas. I believe another in California. You know what I'm saying? He's going to see a lot of growth in 2023. And why? Because the world, we're talking about foreign countries as well as the US, is growing in the electric car economy. So countries like Europe expect to see their population fully electric by 2030, 2035. So we see in the US eventually is going to pick up and follow suit. So we could be seeing that by 2035 as well. So we just want you guys to understand that Tesla is a very great investment, especially for the stock pick of the week. Oh, my bad. I said, yeah, my stock pick of the week.
It's all good. I knew what you meant.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Stock pick, and I think I said crypto earlier, but stock pick of the week is definitely going to be Tesla, just because of, one, the mass community, the mass population focus on saving the planet, healing the planet. Although the charging stations for Tesla does use oil and gas, it does use less than a regular gas station, or, you know what I'm saying, a car lot full of gas stations. So we just want you guys to understand, electric cars, a lot of people are investing, one, not for the look, for the ride, but as well just to save the environment. So if you're someone that likes to save the environment, if you're looking to go eco-friendly, if you want to invest in renewable energy, Tesla is something that is doing what you believe in, and you can make some money off them doing what you believe in. So that's my stock pick of the week for sure.
That's a good pick. My crypto pick for the week is Panther Protocol. The ticker symbol is ZKP. And the reason being is because as I've gone deeper into the world of DeFi, you know, I'm starting to see the importance of DeFi with privatization. And what does that mean, right? When you trigger a transaction on a blockchain, your name and your personal information is not necessarily broadcasted to the world on this public chain where everybody can view the transactions, but your wallet address is, right? And eventually your wallet address can be tied back to you, right? So if someone were to watch you make several transactions over a period of time, they can basically tell who's making those transactions based off of that, right? But private transactions can be done or achieved on blockchain by means of wrapping your tokens in that transaction, right? And depending upon what it is, whether you're purchasing something on Amazon or from your favorite website or web retailer, or you're making certain DeFi transactions that you don't necessarily want to be broadcasted to the world without necessarily being totally anonymous, but giving enough information to whatever platform you're making a transaction on to suffice sufficient KYC, or AKA know your customer terms. Panther Protocol is one of those that are achieving that. You know what I'm saying? They're achieving privatized DeFi. They're built on the Ethereum network, so of course it's an ERC20 token. However, they do have a lot of action going on, or have been going on this past year as well as next year, with going multi-chain. They're partnered with Flare Network to bring privatized DeFi on that. So, you know what I'm saying, it's definitely one of those ones I would keep my own, and I've been keeping my own personally. So yeah, that's definitely my pick for the week though.
Lit. Okay, thank y'all for choosing to tune into this episode. As Anthony just introduced a very valuable crypto pick, I introduced my stock pick. We wrap up this episode. So we do want to say again, thank you guys for tuning in. And just lastly, for good old sakes, pay attention. YouTube channel is not investment financial advice. All programs, resources, and curriculum are intended for informational purposes only. All thoughts expressed are opinions, not used for or with the intent of instruction. We ask you to always do your own research and trade or invest at your own risk. Thank you. So, man, make sure y'all follow us on Instagram at Ace the Greatest. Follow at One Savior Smith. And we will be sure to see you guys next week, next Wednesday on Got Assets as we dive into the next series on Crypto 101. See you guys there. You don't want to miss it.